Hi Gemini, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your April 12th, 2022 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will all be listed in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This will be accompanied with a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all the negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. So while the singing bowl was playing, I was also scrying, and I kept on seeing a sparrow and just wings. So there's a real sense of freedom and flight and movement here during this time for us. And there's also a sense of you're not in it alone, because sparrows travel in groups, right? So there's going to be this strength in numbers, this strength in our connection with ourselves, and also with those who are, very important to us in our lives. So let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. We have the Tower. That makes perfect sense. So on the 12th of April, we have Jupiter and Neptune converging in Pisces, which is the first time that this has happened since 1856. So this is a big deal. And the fact that it shakes things up is not surprising at all. We have to be mindful that the tower that we've created, the way that we had thought or wanted to see things go, is not necessarily going to be the way that it does move forward. So that's going to be important for us. We're also going to be looking at things in very different ways, gaining a greater understanding. So it's kind of like the foundation isn't as strong as we thought it was, or it just isn't as stable as we thought it was. Something is going to be shifting. And of course we have to pull more cards and see more to figure out exactly what. But that's the energy to be aware of, that things will be changing and we're not going to expect it. Let's look at our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Here we have inspiration. This is the sacral chakra. And the sacral chakra is important because it's where we hold our creativity. It's also where we hold our sensual energy. And it's also where a lot of our negative energy from this life and past lives are held. So here when we have inspiration, when we have a new dawn coming, we're going to be seeing things differently than the way that we've seen them before. Again, playing into that tower energy coming in, but this one is much more positive. We're going to be finding ourselves to be more creative, more individualized, more in alignment with where we really want to be or how we really want to move forward. It then moves us to our goddess oracle cards. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. And here we have the higher self. And it says, stop longing, still your mind, and allow your higher self to use its infinite resources to confront and guide you to fulfillment of your desires. And that's going to be really important. And also taking those pauses just to stop, to connect, to look at, to really make sure that we're seeing things. Our higher self is guiding us. And that's where the planetary alignment of this time comes into play. So again, we have Jupiter and Neptune converging on Pisces. Pisces is all about, the two sides of ourselves coming together. It is our subconscious and our conscious self. Here it says intimacy, intuition, and compassion coming forward. That's where our dreams, but also our reaction to the world around us is going to be during this time. So it's really interesting. In 1856, which is the last time that Jupiter and Neptune converged in Pisces, we had the Treaty of Paris, which was signed to end the Crimean War. And that was to end a war with Russia. So that's very important to today. Then in 1856, we also have the birth of Sigmund Freud, who gave form and definition, which is Jupiter, right, which represents Jupiter, to the unconscious, which represents Neptune, and had us look at the world in a very different way, impacted the world in that way. So Neptune and Jupiter orbit the sun at a much more slower pace than the other planets do. We have Venus and we have Mars here. Those are more individualized. These planets are for the collective. They represent a generation or multiple generations. Neptune is the planet of imagination. It is the ruler of Pisces. It is what motivates us spiritually. It embraces our emotional, changes for the world and how we want to see the world move forward in harmony, in peace, in love, in compassion, but also the sense of our emotions are important in this world, and moving forward in a sense of I am claiming my responsibility, but I am also claiming a love and compassion in this life and in this time that is powerful for me. Our higher consciousness is being awakened when Neptune comes into play with Jupiter. Now, Jupiter symbolizes our personal gifts and what needs to be shared with the world. Jupiter's downfall is that we don't know when to say no when Jupiter comes into play. We believe that we can take on more and more and more. Remember, Jupiter is the name of Zeus in the Roman pantheon. So here we have the god of thunder, we have the main, Greek god, Roman god coming forward. It makes us feel incredibly lucky, and we have massive opportunities to grow creatively, but we need to know what to take on and what not to what to say, no, that's just too much. That's going to be very important. Now, on the 5th of April, we had Venus entering into Pisces, which brings love, sensitivity and compassion and romantic energy into the situation. So that comes into play. This says give and receive love, find value and see beauty. That's going to be something that drives us. On the 14th of April, we have Mars entering into Pisces, and we become even more powerful with this energy coming forward, and we will be prone to see we're going to be prone to see where the world wants to take us. It's kind of like, what do I feel I'm being drawn to? How do I need to move myself forward? Not necessarily individually, how can I make this happen, or how can I force this to happen? Which we would think would be the opposite when Mars comes into play, because Mars is the god of war. But what we're going to see here is that we kind of step back and we look at things a little bit more strategically and say, where is it that I need to be? Or where is it that my gifts, my talents will be most utilized, most, built up during this time? We're going to learn to trust our intuition, to embrace our daydreams, and to let feelings set us free, to let our feelings fly forward. And that's really where the bird comes into play, where we see ourselves flying forward and embracing what it is that we really want, need, and desire for ourselves and for our lives. So let's look at what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. We have the Chariot, we have the Ace of Swords, the Moon, and the Devil. And I'm just going to lay everything out. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. We have the King of Swords. That's fantastic. That represents us. And the Eight of Pentacles. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. The Eight of Pentacles again, angels and spirit guides. The Eight of Swords. The Emperor. The Knight of Cups, the Tower coming through once again, and the Devil coming through again. Our final line, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. We have the Knight of Wands, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Seven of Cups. Okay, Let me just move back the camera just a bit so you all can see better. Okay, there we go. Oh, goodness. So what we're going to find here is that there is a strong movement forward. We're taking the reins of what we desire, what we want, what we need. This is strong also Cancer energy coming into play. I do see something starting up around July time period for us, and it's going to be moving us forward in a direction that we hadn't thought of before. So this is going to be a sense of, okay, let me move, let me see, let me discover. We're going to be branching out in a way that we're going to feel like, okay, I have some talent here. I do see that the luck is coming through. I have some talent here. I have some, confidence. The confidence is definitely coming forward. I have some confidence here, and I'm going to take the reins, and I'm going to stop being passive. And now I'm going to see where it can take me, when I start to really take hold of what I desire, what I want, what I need, what's, appropriate for me, and where I want to be. It leads us to the moon. We're going to be facing a lot of the fears that have held us back. This is also Pisces energy. And Pisces is, of course, ruled by Neptune, meaning our dreams and our desires in our waking world and also in our subconscious world, our sleeping world, come into play during this time. And we're going to be thinking, can I do this? Can I move forward this way? Do I know what it is that I want? Can I see the bigger picture? Do I know what I desire? So there are going to be a lot of questions coming forward, and there's going to be a very big sense of a fear, of doubt, but also of, I wish I could see clearer. I wish I knew more, taking over. And that's just absolutely natural. Everybody wishes that they had more insight into things. And so here, not all the time, of course, but here there is this sense of, okay, let me look at what I fear. Let me look at why that fear is there, because there's a weight upon our hearts here, Gemini, that is holding us back that we don't even realize because we're so used to carrying it. And it's something like we've adapted. I'm just seeing, when you lose your vision in one eye, or you can't see as clearly and everything starts to kind of compensate for that, that's what I'm seeing here. It's a sense of, I'm not seeing things as clearly, or something is holding back my vision. And now I'm stopping compensating for it, and I'm addressing the problem that has come forward, that is holding me back. And that's where the devil comes into play. This is the energy that is holding me back. The devil is very interesting because it's very much like the card for the lovers, for Gemini. And there you have the angel blessing the two people. Here we have the devil holding the two people back. And what we're going to see here is that there's a lot of what we love, a lot of what we're passionate about, and then we're getting tied up in other people's opinions, in worrying about what everybody else thinks of us, worrying about how it's going to be perceived, worrying about, what society says we should be doing, instead of looking at ourselves and saying, this is my voice, this is me, this is where I need to stand, this is what I desire. And I'm cutting through the doubts and the fears and the negativities that would be holding me back, or that will be holding me back if I don't address and totally accept who I am. It moves us then to the Ace of Swords. The Ace of Swords cuts through doubts, fears, negativities, hurts, and pains. This is God's source spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing us a gift of knowledge. There is knowledge coming to us. There's a sense of knowing, understanding. There's something that we're looking at. It's kind of like we're gathering up this knowledge, and we don't know why we're doing it. We don't know why we're drawn to a certain thing or a certain place or a certain person, because they're not necessarily in alignment with us. And yet they're giving us the knowledge that we need. They're giving us the insight that we were lacking in another way. And this helps us to arm us, to be able to move forward in the strength, in the determination, in the focus, in the insights that we need, want, and have been missing. So there's a gift of knowledge that comes in. We take it, okay? We're represented by the swords in the minor arcana. We are represented by the lovers in the major arcana. So when we have the gift of the Ace of Swords coming in, that's a gift just for us. We take this gift. We take it, we use it. We're represented here as the king. The king is the highest in the court cards. So here we have the highest energy, the most kind of powerful face to put on. We're putting it on and we're moving forward within our world. There is a sense here of don't be too emotional, or don't let your emotions hold you back. It's not saying be cold or heartless. It's saying don't let your emotions hold you back. Don't let yourself get tangled up in other people's nonsense, other people's trauma and drama. Move forward. Cut through doubts, fears, and negativity. Stand your ground. know your voice, know what it is that you're saying that is correct, and look at what it is that you're saying that might be misguided in one way or another. But this is a time of brutal honesty for ourselves and the way that we want to move forward. We're really looking at something here, Gemini, that has been holding us back. We've been working really hard, and yet we feel stuck. And this is going to be a time with our dreams coming forward, with our ambition coming forward, that we're reevaluating the situation. And we're saying, well, where is it that I need to be? Or why is it that this isn't working out? Or, how is it that I can move forward? Because the Eight of Pentacles comes into play now twice. And the Eight of Pentacles here is very much a sense of hard work, dedication, diligence, putting in your 10,000 hours and creating something that is far more substantial than you thought it was going to be. Now, this is also going to be a sense of, why am I being tested this way? Why is this energy coming in? Or, why do I always meet people like this? And it can be that we need to change something in ourselves, because the harsh reality is, and don't, kill the messenger, is that sometimes we're attracting those people because the common denominator is us. And it's saying here, okay, listen, what do I need to do to move myself forward, to get myself out of this toxic situation? And it can be that we learn to say no a heck of a lot more now. And we learn how to follow our intuition and follow what we desire, because we could be ignoring a sense of, oh, this doesn't feel right, but we're thinking, well, everybody else does it like this. Everybody else is like this. If I'm not like this, then I'm wrong. Then I'm not doing it right. Then there's something wrong with me. No. Listen to what you have been building within you. Listen to what you have been guided on this earth for, because it's more than what you thought it was right now. Meaning that we could be working towards a goal, working towards a promotion, working towards a partnership, working towards these things that are all encompassing right now. And Spirit is teaching us this different lessons. Spirit is teaching us how to stand firm in what we value and what we want, how to embrace compassionately with those around us, and how to embrace compassionately with ourselves. It moves us then to the Eight of Cups again. And the Eight of Cups here, not the Eight of Cups, the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles here is again that hard work, that diligence, but it is crafting something meaningful and worth it. It is not just putting out things to put things out. It's not just showing up to show up. There's quality behind what we're doing. And the thing is that we have the Eight of Swords. We're stuck in our own heads. We're overthinking, we're overanalyzing, we're looking at things in a very kind of specific way and saying, oh, it's not happening like this. It's not supposed to. And that's a really big thing that's coming through in this message. You have this path that you want, Gemini. And when we're following this path and saying, okay, I want this, we're not letting in Spirit. We're not letting in things that can really help us, that can really be beneficial for us. It's not saying lower your standards. It's not saying don't go after that promotion or that job or whatever. It is saying here, don't be so rigid in what it is that we think will bring us happiness. Open up the door. Open up the door and be surprised where it takes you. Because the Eight of Swords is just, it's feeling trapped, and yet we're not. And yet we can take off the blindfold, and yet we can, move ourselves forward in a way that frees us completely. But the Eight of Swords in our mind, we don't see that at all. It's like, no, this is it. This is it, and it will always be this way. It can even be a bit of depression coming into play, or intense depression coming into play. But it's almost like what we're seeing and how we're computing it isn't matching what's actually out there. So we might need to ask somebody that we really love, what do you see about this? Or I feel really upset about this. And they give us a totally different viewpoint. And we need that different viewpoint, because it's like, oh, okay, that's opening up the door. Or we can just journal, we can meditate, we can exercise, whatever it is that we need to do to connect with Spirit, to let that message in, do it. Because here we have the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups is this person coming in who loves us, who is connecting with us. And it doesn't mean that this has to be a person that we are romantically linked to. This is just simply a person who shows us that there's more, who opens up our hearts, opens up what we desire, looks at things in such a different way. And so here, there is a sense of slowly moving towards what we love, what we want, what's powerful for us, what guides us forward. And there is a person coming in. And it can be, in a very abstract way that this person comes into our lives. But there's a person moving forward, holding what they love, holding what they desire. And we're looking at them, being proud of what they do, and saying, well, why can't that be me? And so this is a time where we start to connect with that Jupiter energy of, you know what, this is who I am. And I'm embracing it with pride, and yet not embracing it with an over, flow of ego or saying, it has to be like this. It brings us then to the Emperor. The Emperor is Aries energy. The Emperor is the energy of this is what I want and this is where I'm headed. We are going to see ourselves declaring things more. There's very strong masculine energy around this reading, and we need that right now, Gemini. We need to embrace what we want, state what it is that we desire, claim who it is that we are or what it is that we want, and not be apologetic for it. It's not being a brute or a bully. It is really saying, these are my talents, this is who I am, and this is where I need to be. There's also a strong, it's patriarchal energy around here, not in a negative way at all. This is somebody who really enjoyed being a father. Now, this could be somebody who passed, but this is somebody who says, these are my responsibilities. And it doesn't have to be a male energy at all. It can be a female energy, but they come across as somebody who took up their responsibilities, said, this is what needs to be done. That energy is coming forward. We're going to see ourselves channeling that more. This is what needs to be done. This is where I need to be. This is what's appropriate for me. This is where I'm headed. This is what I'm doing. And there's a firmness to that during this time. There's also a sense of I'm learning more by watching, by listening, by understanding than I would be by interacting. All right. So that's going to be very important for us. Also, a lot of energy is coming our way. A lot of insights are coming our way. It's going to be more beneficial for us to step back, take them in, than it is just to instantaneously react. Because we're going to see here that there's a lot of change that comes forward. Again, we have the Tower. We can be drowning in emotions. We can be feeling things rather intensely, whether it's that we're more hormonal during this time or whether it is that we're just really intensely tuned in. It doesn't matter. But this is going to be a time where we feel the foundation shifting. We feel the change coming. We feel like, oh, I didn't see this. I didn't realize this. I didn't understand this. And now the insight guides me. Now I'm looking at the bigger picture. Now I'm understanding myself more. And it is because, again, the foundation that we thought we had, we don't, or we didn't. It was taken from us. This can also be that we went through something in our lives that absolutely shook up our whole entire world. It changed the trajectory of where we thought we were going. And this is going to be, for us, a sense of emotionally stepping into those waters again, where we don't want to step, where we're like, no, I'm good. I don't need to do this again. But now we step into those waters again, and we see the intensity. We see the ferocity of it and how it's still coursing and shaping our lives. And this is going to be a time for us where we say, you know what? No, I don't get to be defined by pain indefinitely. It moves us to the devil. We're really breaking the chains that hold us back. A lot of the walk down this path, be like this energy that doesn't match with ours. We might not be like everybody else. We might not feel like we fit in. That's okay. That is really okay. It is okay to see yourself in comparison to the rest of the world as maybe normal or quiet or more reserved. That's okay. Or more, kind of out there and in your face. That is also okay. We're breaking the ties of what have held us back from being us. And we're going to start to say, where do I need to move and how do I need to move forward for me in what I want, in what I desire, and in what is powerful for where I want to be. Something is tempting us. Something is saying, hide yourself away, hide yourself away. And this is going to be a time where we say, no, I'm not. Because we have then the Knight of Wands coming through. We have ourselves jumping forward, embracing our passion, embracing what we desire, but also being a student of where we want to go, of how the door is opening, of how we're embracing things. This is a spark put back into our lives. And we're starting to see choices come forward for us, things that we had looked at, things that we had thought of. Now we're starting to say, I could do this, or I can move this way, or, this is what's right for me. And all of a sudden, our dreams don't seem so silly. We don't seem so behind the 8 ball. The repeat of the number 8 in this reading does show us that we're taking things a bit too seriously, and we have to be mindful of that. We really do have to be mindful. There's a nurturing energy around us in the destruction, because 1 + 5 is 6. 6 is a very nurturing energy. And so we have to be aware of that here as well, that in the destruction, in the way that we're cutting the chains from things, we're going to see ourselves embracing our power, embracing where we want to be, where we need to be for us as an individual. It brings us then to the Ace of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles is God's source spirit, however you see the divine, the universe, handing us a gift of prosperity and of bounty, seeds that need to be planted in order to grow what we want from our world. It's kind of like, if I say that this is what I want, and then I do the complete opposite in my daily life, then it's not really what I want. Here, we're taking those seeds and we're learning to nurture how it is that we really want to move forward, our prosperity, our success, our bounty, our abundance. And we're not playing anymore. This is a really powerful time of saying, this is what I need, this is what I desire, and these are the gifts that I was given. I'm not going to hide them away. I'm not going to bury them. And by saying that, and also by saying it's okay if I stand out, that all of a sudden opens up the door that has us seeing things in a very different way, in a very powerful way. It moves us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of. And that is the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is being mindful of the past, coming forward, and kind of throwing a wrench into the situation. We're overthinking, we're pulling things back, the what ifs, the maybes, the how comes, the things were better when, or the things were worse when, and living in the past instead of showing up in the present. Let us show up in the present and let us honor it and connect with it. We're also going to be, this is very interesting, because while I was looking at this, it's not being in the moment of watching the children play. It's going to be kind of being obsessed with taking the pictures or framing it just right and getting things just right, for social media or even for our own, scrapbooks or whatever. And Spirit is saying here, no, be in that moment. Be in that moment. It's going to be very important. It then moves us to our subconscious chakra energy, and that is self-mastery. This is the solar plexus chakra. We are going to find by listening to our intuition, listening to our gut, listening to what we desire, and letting ourselves shine, that we step forward, that we embrace ourselves in a way that changes the game. It's a mastery of self, but it's a recognition of self. It brings us then to our subconscious oracle message, which is humorist. And it says, a refreshing joy, exhalation, and skill learned from creative play and laughter are their own reward and can help us solve problems. Yeah, that's what we're being told. Be in the situation. Be in the situation, not just observing it, because it will be so easy to be separate, but to let ourselves embrace the joy, move into that joy, is going to be just powerful for us, just wonderful for us. It moves us then, it's going to raise our energy vibration. It moves us then to our subconscious tarot energy. And of course, I started the wrong way, but I love that we have the Knight of Pentacles right here. So we're taking this gift of prosperity and of abundance, and we're taking it subconsciously with the same deck that it's offered it. So there is such a sense here of, this is my wealth, this is my prosperity, this is what I need. I'm claiming it. I'm embracing it. I'm embracing me. It brings us then to, well, let's just actually move backwards. It brings us then to the Queen of Pentacles. Again, taking that gift of prosperity and success and embracing the learning, the understanding, the teaching, the power to move forward. We are going to see here that this is a time where our wealth is seen. We radiate the sense of the Queen of Pentacles, the sense of, I am bettering this world for the next generation. I am moving forward with prosperity and success and bounty and abundance, and that is being taught. And there's such a strong emphasis on connection with children here, being part of that play, that connection with our own inner child, with a sense of there's more here than just me. That's going to be very important for us. It moves us then to the King of Wands. An embracing of our heart, a following of what we desire, passion, insight, ideas. The King of Wands comes forward, and the King of Wands is fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, just as the King of Wands is, of course, us. No, it's not us. Is just as the Queen of Pentacles comes forward. Now, the King of Wands coming forward as us is the sense of this is my fire, this is my desire, and it's that connection with the Sagittarius energy, which is our sister sign, that sign that builds us up. The Queen of Pentacles is Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. There is a real sense of subconsciously we're very connected to the earthly plane. And as we're connected to the earthly plane, we're going to see that subconsciously we're maneuvering ourselves in a way that brings us a more powerful outcome, that brings us to a place of greater authority within our lives. We're changing the game. And it moves us then to the Five of Wands. We're tired with the endless bickering, the endless fighting, the chaos for the sake of chaos. We're done with it. It's old and boring, and it's enough. And we're going to see here that this is a time where we start to say, you know what, no, I'm not having everything always be up in the air, always chaotic, always overwhelming. I am moving forward towards where I need to be, towards what I need to be. And it's leaving the chaos behind. It's leaving the fighting behind. And that's not me. And that's not what I want for my life. All right, Gemini. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Gemini, and may blessings always follow you.